Welcome to Game Time, presented to you by KCTH Channel 27. I'm Rashawn Mungo, coming to you from Chabot Field, where the Gladiators are taking on their Cross Bay rivals, the San Mateo Bulldogs. Last week, they lost their first game of the season on the road against the Mustangs. This week, it doesn't get any easier as the Bulldogs come in winning their first game of the season at home against the Laney Eagles. Anytime these two teams get together, it's always promised to be a good one. So stay tuned, because kickoff and the national anthem is next. And welcome back to Hayward, California, where the Gladiators will be taking on their Cross Bay rivals, the College of San Mateo Bulldogs. We're in for a good one today, folks. Chabot will be taking the ball first. San Mateo deferred the kick, and Chabot will be receiving the ball first. I'm interested to see how they're going to be running their offense this year. Head coach for the Gladiators, Danny Calcagno, lost two of the biggest part of his offense. He lost Brandon Michael, the running back, and Brian Jones, the Brian backfield, if you will. And I'm interested to see if they're going to stick with the power running game formation that brought them so much success last year. This is a big game for Chabot because San Mateo was the team that came in here last year and handed them their first loss, their only regular season loss, and their only regular season home loss. So this is a big game because Chabot, they play American River next week, and American River is the team that beat them in the Capital City Bowl. So they really need this game to go ahead and get going. The ball is received on the 12-yard line, and it doesn't get much room. Little gang tackling over there from the Bulldogs. This one is going to be an intense one, folks. Let's see what type of formation they bring in here. It's going to be first down on the 21-yard line. First and 10 on the 21-yard line for the Gladiators. With 14:52 left, they come out in a four wide receiver set, excuse me. Back to throw, and a completion to number 17, which is Demarie Moody. Gain of 5 on the play. And they're slinging the ball again, and that's going to be a first down. Robert Guy, and they're looking like they're letting quarterback Brian Eckert come out and throw the ball. Last week, he actually targeted and completed with 8 different wide receivers, which is a huge change from last year when he did not have that ability to just throw the ball like that. And an incomplete pass, they went to go for a screen pass to Robert Guy, and it just looked like a rush throw there. Looked like he didn't let the play develop, and you can tell the energy and the emotion right now is running high between these two teams. Both teams are really clamoring to try to get the upper hand early. And Eckert is back to pass, and he doesn't really have anywhere to go, but he breaks the tackle. And he scrambles for a little bit. Just a shoestring tackle by Michael Spivey, linebacker for the Bulldogs. Barely got Eckert there. If he doesn't trip him up, he might go for another 10, 15 yards. It's a 3rd down and 3 on the Gladiator 46. In the shotgun formation with 4 wideouts and a split back. There we go. And a completion. And he steps back and he completion for Brandon Wine, sophomore from Dublin High School. 2nd-year player. Had a touchdown last game against the Mustangs. Let's see if they try to go back to Brandon Wine here. 1st and 10 on the 47, and he overthrows his receiver Brandon Eckert, and number 33 Isaiah Skelton, the DB, just missed a for sure interception. You have to come down with that. There's no way you can let that ball come in and out of your hands. I think that just might be 1st quarter nerves, because you have to come down with that. That's such a huge momentum shift that can really, give your team a lot of energy and a lot of, the upper hand early in the game. I mean, turnovers, points off turnovers, it doesn't matter what level of football, they're always so important. And winning the turnover battle and getting points off those turnovers are just as important. And a draw play, and he's just breaking through so many tackles. My God, Asante McCray running like a truck right there. That was an amazing draw play. That's the first running play of the day, and my, did it work. 1st and 10 for the Gladiators now. Just really putting together a nice drive. And Brennan Eckert goes down. Number 97 for the Bulldogs records the sack. That's Rika Levy, defensive lineman from South San Francisco High School, a freshman. That's going to make it 2nd and 8. Brennan Eckert sets up in a shotgun formation with Asante McCray in the backfield. And then just a nice little slant route completion for the 1st down. That's Casey Jennings on the reception. He led the team last week in receptions and total yards. Led all receivers. So keep an eye on him, especially here in the red zone. He's definitely a guy they want to go to here when the field gets a lot smaller. Man in motion, and it's a quarterback keep. It's a draw, and Eckert had a hold, but he ends up getting taken down for what looks to be a gain of 2. 3rd and 2. 3rd and 2 on the Bulldog 18-yard line. Looks like a little confusion on the defensive end of the ball. They're looking like they're going for a spot.
Just keep it tight.
And let's see here. And it looks like a 1st down, and there it is. It's a 1st down in the red zone. Chabot is really putting together a really good drive right now. Besides that one pass that should have been a for sure interception, this drive is a good opening drive for the Gladiators and for this hometown crowd. Eckert in the shotgun. Look like he's going to keep it. And a lot of contact there. Doesn't look like much of a gain, if any. And this is really where, when the Bulldogs came in here last year, the Gladiators really had their run game working. But this is where they really clamped down, is inside the red zone. When the field got smaller and there was less room to really maneuver on this side of the field, is really when the Bulldogs held the Gladiators in check, and vice versa. So So red zone completion is going to be a big one. And he rolls out. And Eckler with the completion, what it looks like to be the 3-yard line to Robert Guy. And Robert Guy has really been targeted a lot early on here. Shotgun formation, man in motion, and a lot of confusion. And that's Asante McCready with a 4-yard run for a touchdown. And the Gladiators strike first. There was just a lot of confusion going there in the backfield. They had a man in motion. They didn't know if Eckler was going to keep the ball. They didn't know if they were going to hand it to Asante McCready, and there was just too much going on in the backfield for the defense to keep up with, and it leads to a touchdown. And Gustavo Aloa looks to tackle on the extra point to make it a 7-0 early Gladiator lead. And it's good. It's 7-0 in the first quarter. With 10:40 left to play, Gladiators strike first. And now it's time for the Bulldogs to respond. And the Bulldogs have their work cut out for them. They have not scored in the first quarter yet this season. So let's see if they can. Hopefully their luck will change, or they're hoping their luck will change. But that was a really great drive by the Gladiators. I mean, besides the one pass, but they really mixed. They targeted three different receivers. They mixed it up. They got some production through the air, on the ground, and they're really keeping the Bulldogs honest right now. It's really a positive way to start this game for the Gladiators. And Gustavo Olo looks to kick this ball off. And the ball is taken on the 2-yard line. And here comes San Mateo with their first offensive drive of the day. They have John Willis under center. Second year quarterback that went to Logan. And little doing there. And a nice draw. And it looks like the ball is loose. It looks like the Gladiators recover. What a turn of events. And on the second play from scrimmage, the Bulldogs turn the ball over in their own territory. And the Gladiators are going to go back to work with a real big opportunity to really put some damage here in the first quarter and put a little distance between them and the visiting Bulldogs. And I don't know if that's first play nerves or first quarter nerves. Or I don't know if that's just a solid hit by the linebacker core and the defensive lineman core of the Gladiators. But if you're College of San Mateo, this is the absolute worst time for that to happen. And Eckler back to pass. And a reception to the 2-yard line to Casey Jennings. And I told you to keep an eye on him, especially they love running that slant play. He just really explodes off the line of scrimmage really fast and really makes a sharp cut. And it's just so hard to defend, especially in the red zone. And a high snap, and it looks like it might be a false start. Let's look and see the call here. This might put the Gladiators back a little bit. Looks like they called a timeout. Looks like San Mateo called a timeout, and they were awarded before the snap, which probably ends up working out better for the Gladiators because that snap was high, and it looked like it was going to be. It had the possibility of being a broken play, maybe even possibly a fumble if a defensive lineman or a linebacker gets there and puts a body on Gladiator quarterback Brandon Eckert. But either way, the Gladiators have they have an amazing opportunity to really go ahead and just quick strike and go up by 2 touchdowns here. And this is what we were talking about earlier. Points off turnovers are so you cannot stress how important points off turnovers are. And a lot of times it's what separates the good teams from the really bad ones. Are you able to get turnovers first of all and capitalize on them? So we'll see what the Gladiators can do here. Asante McCray in the backfield. 2 wide outs, 1 slot receiver. Slot receiver to the far side. And a quarterback keep, and a big sack, a big time sack came at a good moment for College of San Mateo. That's Chris Paulison, second year linebacker from Balboa, and that came at a really good time. They really needed to push Chabot back a little bit, and that's actually the 6th sack that Chabot has allowed on the year. And now it's 2nd and 13. And an interception. And the ball is tipped up. And usually when the ball is tipped straight up like that, it usually finds the opposing players. That was an interception by Matt Vanal, defensive back, freshman from Sierra. And like we were just going to talk about, you have to capitalize on turnovers. You have to get points off turnovers. You get the ball within the 5-yard line, you have to be able to punch that in. And if nothing else, get a field goal. You never like to get 3 when you can get 7, but you have to get something. And this is just new life for College of San Mateo. And that sack, followed by that tip pass for an interception, is what the doctor ordered for College of San Mateo. And right now the run game is, there's nothing doing for the run game of the Bulldogs right now. They're trying to do that delay, and it's just not fooling anyone right now. At least not on the Chabot side of the ball. Now let's see what the Bulldogs can do here. Let's see if they can put together a drive of their own and march all the way down the field and maybe tie this game up. 2nd and 10 on their own 9. And Willis steps back to pass, and an interception. Oh my God, a pick 6. Jamal Jones with a huge pick 6. And I don't even know what to say about that one. He just jumped the route and took it all the way to the house. I mean, he didn't have far to go, but he just jumped that route. And, you know, the coach for San Mateo, he's going to have to get his team together. He's going to have to sit his offensive down on the sideline. And he's going to have to talk to him. He's going to have to say, look, you guys got to take better care of the ball. And it looks like the 2-point conversion has failed. And I have no clue where you go for the 2-point conversion there. I don't know why you just don't kick the point after touchdown and make it 14-0. But back to my earlier point, San Mateo really needs to get it together. They need to talk to their offense, and they say, first drive, you guys fumbled the ball. Second drive, we get out of that one with a great interception of our own, and then you just throw it away in an ill-advised pass, and you just can't have that happen, especially on the road against a good defensive club like the Gladiators. They're just really digging themselves in the hole. Gustavo alone with the kickoff. And it's taken at the 5-yard line, and a big hit, but he bounces off it. And he's still on his feet. Robert Johnson with a return. He was like a pinball out there. And a man's down for Chabot. And that's not good when head coach Denny Calcagno run out there immediately, and that's not always the best sign. That's good. Well, it looks like he's getting off the field on his own power, so that's good. Sometimes when a head coach just sprints out there, it's really scary. But the Gladiators are well in control right now. 13-0 with 8:12 left to go in the half or in the quarter. College of San Mateo is starting on their own 20-yard line. It's 1st and 10. And again with a quick draw play. Looks like a gain of 2 or 3. Man in motion, and a pitch, and a missed tackle. Oh. And Quincy Nelson went in motion and pitch, and he made one man miss, and he almost turned it up the field, almost broke one down the sideline there. And it looks like that's what the Bulldogs are going to try to do. They're going to try to show you, put a lot of men in motion. Look like they're going to try to confuse you, get you to guess wrong. And Quincy John Willis steps back and makes a completion to Aaron Criswell for a first down. And the Bulldogs approach midfield for the first time this game. It's the first time that they've even been anywhere close to the positive side of the field. And this is exactly what the Bulldogs need. They need to establish some momentum, establish some rhythm, just kind of endure the initial shock of the turnovers and the points they've given up, and just kind of really realize that there's 3 quarters left to play, there's 3.5 quarters left to play. And John Willis with the bootleg coming around, and he gets a first down, but there's a flag on the play, and it looks like it came towards the end of the play. But that was a great misdirection bootleg. And that's the type of stuff you're going to see that's the type of plays you're going to see from San Mateo. And San Mateo, generally, if you don't know, they're a run-heavy team. Last week against the Laney Eagles, they only passed the ball 17 times. They ran the ball 47 times. So they're a run-heavy team. But when they do pass the ball, they completed 5 passes out of they only completed 5 passes out of the 17 attempts, but they got 154 yards through the air. So when they do complete a pass, it's generally for a large game. So you have to play them honest. But they have big play capability, but their bread and butter is the run game. They're gonna run it at you, You got to stop him. So there we go. And Quincy Nelson just breaks one. And he's at the 10, and he gets stopped just shy of the goal line. And Quincy Nelson, he's just so quick when he gets in the open field. It's just so hard to contain. And that's the type of plays you're going to see from San Mateo. And just looks like they're bringing it back. And there's like a bunch of holdings going on during this drive, which is unfortunate for San Mateo because they've had some bright plays, some bright spots where they look good, where they look like they were kind of getting a rhythm, and nothing kills a rhythm like penalties. Man in motion. And just nothing doing on that play. Chabot just stopped that play almost seemingly before it even started. So it's the ball is on their own. The ball is on Chabot 29. And it's second and 8 with 8 yards to go. And a pitch out and a pitch to Levy Wilson, who came around and it looks like he got the first down, but he paid the price to get that first down. Excuse me, he didn't. It looks like third and less than a yard. Third and extremely short. And the first down. And John Willis keeps it for the first down. And the Bulldogs really need to respond with a touchdown of their own. They cannot have a turnover here. They cannot take their eyes off the prize. They have to punch it in the red zone. They have to let the Gladiators know that they're out there. And they just keep going with that counter, and that time it was nothing doing. Seven yards to go. Second and 7 on the Gladiator 19. Steps back to pass. And a sack. And a big Gladiator sack. And that looks like number 19, Zach Perella. And he came out, he just pinned his ears back and just went and got him. He just went and got him. And it just looked like John Willis didn't have anywhere to go. He was what you call burping the baby. Just sitting there holding the ball and patting it one too many times, and a great open field tackle. That reminded me of the Tennessee Titans play, the Memphis Miracle, the Music City Miracle, where you fake one way and you do a jump throw to the other side when the defense over pursues and you just have daylight on the side. But that didn't go anywhere. That was great open field tackling and basically a great defensive stand. And that is a missed field goal. And that must be so demoralizing for the Bulldogs. You drive all that way down the field. You get into the red zone, and penalties bring you back. you get sacked. You have a play blown up in the backfield, and then you miss a field goal to get your first points of the game. And the Gladiators take over on their own 25-yard line. Eckert looks like he's changing the play at the line. 4 wide receivers, and he's target Casey Jennings again, and he squeezed that ball in there. And I'm super surprised. Well, I can't say surprised, but last year Brandon Eckert was not able to throw the ball this much. They did not allow him to. They didn't really cut him loose. They really kept it a very conservative power running game. But with the running game they had last year, it was all you really needed. But this year they're letting him throw the ball. And Hunter Rockwell carries the ball, gain a couple. Looks like he gets the first down, and the chain gang is going to move, so it's going to be 1st and 10. What it looks like to be on the 30, on the Gladiator 37-yard line. Quick snap and a reception, and that slant pass looked like it was up for anybody's grab. And Robert Guy with another reception. It looks like they're going to Robert Guy a lot. And it looks like they're trying to hurry up College of San Mateo, and they go back to Robert Guy on the screen. That was sniffed out by the Bulldogs. It's 2 minutes and 30 seconds left going into the end of the first quarter. The ball's on the 46-yard line. It's 3rd and 1. And they have Hunter Rockwell in the backfield. I expect him to get the ball here. And here we go, and he's going to get the first down. Hunter Rockwell last week against the San Joaquin Delta Mustangs led all Chabot rushers with 117 yards on just 9 attempts, including a 69-yard long touchdown run. And Chabot takes a timeout. It's 1:55 left in the quarter. Ball on the 49-yard line. 2nd and 10 yards to go. Second and 10. Snap. Eckert looking to pass. And a reception, but it looks like the pass was broken up. I wasn't sure if it was a fumble or not. That could have very well been a fumble. It looked like he had both hands on the ball. It looked like he came down with it. And it looked like he dropped it as he hit the ground. But there's a flag on the play. Unnecessary roughness on the Bulldog, and the Bulldogs are just playing so undisciplined on both sides of the ball right now. Just shooting themselves in the foot. And the Gladiators go back to work. 1st and 10 on the Bulldogs 34-yard line. Man in motion and a fumble and a botch snap. And that's going to be intentional grounding. Man, Eckert was trying to get to the ball and trying to make something out of nothing, but intentional grounding on the Gladiators. And that's going to take them out of position. Just a bad time. And last year last year, early in the year, Chabot had trouble handling some snaps early in the year. Later, towards the end of the year, they seem to get that problem fixed. But you really, if you're Danny Calcagno, head coach of the Gladiators, you don't want that flaw to start rearing his ugly head again. Desante McCray going nowhere. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Rockwell Hunter. My apologies. Hunter Rockwell. And it's 3rd and 35. How many 35-yard plays do you think Danny Calcagno has in his playbook? I'm pretty sure that part of the playbook is pretty thin. Ball on their own 41, 3rd and 34. Let's see if they try to play it conservative here, and it looks like a false start. Delay a game. That's just a breakdown. Somebody on the team has to call a timeout and alert the offense to know that time is running out. That's a penalty goes down as a penalty on the quarterback, but that's really a penalty on the team. There we go. And Rockwell Hunter gains it, and they just play conservative with the draw play. And the Gladiators come on the field to punt. And looks like time is going to run out, and that's going to do it for the end. That's going to do it for the first quarter. Chabot, home team, leads 13-0 at the end of the first half. And for more coverage and picks, you can visit thespectator.com and click sports. Aside from this broadcast, for more entertainment and music, tune into KCRH 89.9 FM, the East Bay's best variety, or visit them at kcrhradio.com. If you'd like to check out this game online or help pledge to our programming or questions on how you can be a sponsor, visit ChabotTV.com. And if you're listening to this broadcast, you can also follow me, Rashawn Mungo, your play-by-play announcer, on Twitter at Rashawn, RASHANMUNGO_sports at twitter.com. All right, so the Gladiators, it looks like we're getting back to start of the second quarter. And it is 4th and 34, and so the Gladiators are going to be punting. Looks like Quincy Nelson is back to take on the punt. And you got to watch this guy, because this guy he's got speed to burn. I wish I had some of that speed. Right, Gustavo. Looks like Gustavo Aloa back for the punt. Sorry, that was not Gustavo Aloa. That was Brandon Miller for the punt. And the Chabot downs it, what looks like to be on the 16-yard line. And San Mateo is going to get back to work. Hopefully, I mean, for their sake, they're trying to put together one drive that doesn't have one thing go wrong. If it's not turnovers, it's penalties. So the Bulldogs really need to just focus on putting together a drive. Forget the first quarter. You still have a lot of game left to play. And speak of the devil, as soon as I'm talking about putting together a drive and finding a rhythm, they have a false start penalty. And they're going to go even deeper into their territory. And Quincy Nelson with an end around, gets a pitch and Brings it back up to about the 21, 22-yard line. Second and 8 on the 18-yard line. And it looks like number 26, George Nafahu, just rumbles ahead. Big man. 215 pounds freshman from San Mateo. That's a lot of man to stop. Here we go, and it's 3rd and 1 to go. And San Mateo's actually good on their last week. They were good on their 3rd down conversions. They were 7 for 14, which is 50%. I mean, it's not spectacular, but if you look comparatively to Chabot, Chabot was 3 for 14, so 31%. So just to show you the difference between the two teams last week in third down conversions. And so far, this is the second 3rd and short that San Mateo has had, and the first one they converted. So 3rd and 1 now, and the quarterback keeper, and looks like John Willis is. It looks like he has the first down. So it's a 1st and 10 on the 27-yard line, on their own 27-yard line for the Bulldogs. And he steps back to pass, and he goes big, and he makes the reception. And that's number 81, it looks like. That's a touchdown. And that's that big play opportunity that I'm talking about. That the College of San Mateo, they don't throw the ball often. They don't throw the ball often, but when they do throw the ball, they go for the home run, or the touchdown, if you will. And that's what I'm talking, and that's what I was bringing up earlier, that you have to keep them honest. You cannot just load 8 guys in a box and try to stop their run, even though they're going to run at you so many times a game. They're going to run at you while you stop them, until you stop them, before you stop them. But you got to play them honest, because if you do that, if you cheat too much, they're gonna just go over the top on you. And you see the wide receiver go up there and get that one. And he had one man to beat, and as soon as he dropped down, it was touchdown all the way. And so Austin Pacheco is going to come on the tackle on the extra point. And it's good. So now, what looked like it was going to be, it had the potential to be a 3-touchdown game, is now less than 1 touchdown. And that's how fast things can change. And this is another reason why that going for 2-point conversion in the first quarter did not make any sense to me, because now San Mateo can score another touchdown and kick the PAT and have the lead. And Chabot has definitely been in control of this game, definitely had their opportunities, and one big play turns it all around. So Chabot has to get to work, and they have to keep their foot on the pedal. You can't get complacent and lighten up and relax, because this San Mateo team has a lot of pride, and this is a big game for them. Every team in their conference won last week, and at press time, Butte and Santa Rosa both won today, so they need to win this game to keep pace with the 2-0s. So they're not going to go ahead and, with this rivalry, they're not going to come down here and take this lightly. So Chabot has to definitely not think that they already have this one won. And the kickoff, and that is just a botched play. But he makes a move, and it looks like another flag on the play. But those are the type of mental lapses you can't have. Letting the ball just go by you like that. You either got to fair catch it, or you got to do something. You got to fair catch it. You got to take it. But you can't just let the ball bounce around like that and possibly put you within the 5-yard line. Looks like an unnecessary roughness. So the ball, it looks like unnecessary roughness on Chabot. Might have been a blocking in the back, but that's gonna bring the Gladiators back to their own. Looks to be 8-yard line, 7-yard line. 1st and 10. And a handoff, and I think Asante McCray, he's just so explosive. Like he gets lost. He gets lost in that, between those big O linemen, and you just don't know where he is until he just finds a hole and he's just slashing through it. 1st and 10 on the Gladiator 18, and it's a quarterback keep, and Brandon making a few moves himself. Brandon Eckert. And speaking of small guys that hide behind the O-line, he is definitely that sort of guy. You know, for a lot of guys being small like that, it's a detriment because it's hard to see over the line and make a pass. But a small guy like that with speed, incomplete pass. But finish my point. But a small guy like that has speed, you know, when the pocket breaks down, or even do an option, he can really just get behind those guys, and you don't really know where he is until it's too late. It's 3rd and 3 on the Gladiator 25, and this is where those 3rd down conversions come in. Come in handy. This is where you just have to start focusing on them, and that was almost another interception. I mean, the wide receiver was not open, and he just tried to force a throw, and then Chris Paulison breaks it up. Almost had an interception, and that interception would have been one to the house. And like I said, these 3rd down conversions, this is where you talk about it. This is where the difference is. Where you know, San Mateo just had a big play, and you got to keep a drive alive. Oh, and the ball looks loose, and it looks like he botched the fumble, and it looks like a loose ball. This looks... Oh, and San Mateo recovers. Such a big break for San Mateo. You finally established the momentum in this game. You get a big play, you punt you kick off, you stop the offense, you stop the bleeding for a little bit on the defensive side of the ball, no penalties, and then if you just botch a fumble, if you fumble the ball on the punt, it almost feels like to get some momentum going. But Quincy Nelson, and it looks like a flea flicker, and and he just underthrew his man there. He underthrew his man there because the wide receiver got behind the defense, and he was wide open. He got behind Damian Ross. Damian Ross got where he needed to be. He was wide open, and Quincy Nelson just did not have enough mustard on it. And what a heads-up play by Jamal Jones. He almost made that interception. And Quincy Nelson gets the ball again on the counter on a misdirection, and he goes down. So quickly from 1st and 10 to 3 and 9 right there. It's a great idea by San Mateo that they're trying to mix it up. They're trying to catch the Gladiators off guard. And if we keep going for the home run like that, I think it's going to pay off more times than not. 3rd and 9. And he has time in a nice screen. And he has tons of daylight. And that's George Nwafu coming out of the backfield. Stayed behind, nice little screen release. We got the first down, and here we are again, Bulldogs in the positive side of the field. In Gladiator territory, and seemingly moving the ball very efficient. Even when they went quickly from a 1st and 10 to 3rd and 9, they were doing some inventive plays. Oh, and it looks like a little extra behind the play. Number 77 for San Mateo. Chance coming. Pushing around number 40, Dan Hika. And Chris Cummings is a lot bigger than Dan Hika, let me tell you. I mean, Dan Hika is not a small guy, but Chris Cummings is a monster. But no call there. They're going to let the boys play. 2nd and 10 on the Gladiator 38 with 11:30 left to go in the 2nd quarter. And a nice little wide receiver screen. And here we go. And you knew with these two teams getting together, and you see what type of game it's been so far. You know it's going to be tight. You know it's going to be tense. A lot of these kids, they've played with each other. They've seen each other around. They know people that go to the same school. They know a lot of the same people. These guys are used to competing with one another, and they don't take this rivalry lightly. It's 3rd and 3 on the Gladiator 31. 11 minutes left to go in the first half. 13-7 Gladiators. And another first down by the Bulldogs using the array of mixed directions and counters and things of that nature. Ball on the Chabot 24, 1st and 10. And he steps back to pass, and a big, huge sack. And that was just gang tackling at its finest. There were so many black jerseys around him. I think he was hit by 4 different guys on the way down. And looking at his arm, when he was going down, he had the ball extended in his hand, and it hit a little harder. He might have coughed that one up. But a huge time for that. It's 2nd and 22. Ball on the 24. 10 minutes left to go in the half. Here we go. And Quincy Nelson with the pitch again. And he turns the corner. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not Quincy Nelson. That is Levy Wilson, slot receiver. Levy Wilson. Levy Wilson went to Albany High School. And another flag on the play. No flag. Actually, no flag. I think that's a sigh of relief for everybody on the San Mateo sideline. Like, man, again? Another penalty? Here we go, 2nd and 12. Or 3rd and 12. Third and 12 on the 24-yard line. John Willis steps back to the pass, and just a rush throw. Had a receiver that he was supposed to hit along the line of scrimmage. Just a quick, nice little dump off. try to take advantage of some of the space that the defense is giving him and just rush the throw. So they're going for it on 4th and 13. 4th and 13 on the 27-yard line. Don't necessarily know if I agree with this call. But I guess it's one of those situations where it's too close to punt, too far to kick the field goal. That'd be a 37-yard field goal. No, actually longer than that. It'd probably be a 42-yard field goal. So maybe a little too far for San Mateo to really think that they have a real shot of making it. Austin Pachoa, don't know what type of leg he has, but and maybe they're just thinking it's a rivalry game. You know, we're gonna go for it. I'd personally kick the field goal, but that's why I'm up here and they're down here. Back to pass, right over the middle, and the umpire is just in the middle of that. He's just right in the middle of that play. I think the best defenseman for Chabot on that play was actually the umpire. That really put a body on the Bulldogs wide receiver. But that play looked to be well short of the first down. Anyway, and so turnover on downs. Gladiators take over on their own 27. 1st and 10, second quarter. 13. They lead 13-7 with 9:25 left to go in the half. Here we go, Ecker with the quarterback keep, and he's looking for somewhere to go, and he makes a man miss, but ultimately gets nowhere, and it looks like the ball came out. And I'm waiting on a call here. Seems to me that the Gladiators kept possession. Looks like no gain on the play. Or 2nd and 8. 2nd and 8. And Echo with the screen of their own. I haven't seen too many screens from Chabot. Jacob Isabel on the reception. First time seeing him in some action so far. And a man is down for Chabot, and it looks like he's in some real pain there. Trying to figure out what player that is on the ground, but he's rolling around. He looks like he's agonizing quite a bit. I guess we'll do a little pause for station identification. This is KCTH, Channel 27, bringing you Game Time, a show in which we bring you live Gladiator football and any other sports we can get to. So, again, for more coverage and picks, you can visit thespectator.com and click sports. Aside from this broadcast, for more entertainment and music, tune into KCRH 89.9 FM, the East Bay's best variety, or you can visit them at kcrhradio.com. If you'd like to check out this game online or help pledge to our programming or have any questions about how to be a sponsor, and we need some sponsors, visit ChabotTV.com. And I'm Rashawn Mungo. Welcome. You can also follow me on Twitter, RASHAANMUNGO_sports at twitter.com. And that looks like number 76 for Chabot that got hurt, or 78, which is Joaquin Liano, who's hurt. 4th and 4 for the Gladiators punt team. Is coming on the field. I believe that's Brandon Miller. Number 29, Brandon Miller to punt to Quincy Nelson. And it's a short kick. And he fair catches it at the 40-yard line. And that's where the Bulldogs will take over. So they're down by 6. And ever since the first quarter, there was a lot of turnovers, some quick scoring. But so far it's been kind of the battle of the defenses right now. The defenses have been stepping up, making some plays, whether it be sacks, whether it be just holding teams to punt. So right now the defenses are kind of getting settled in. Here we go, Quincy. That's Levy Wilson. Levy Wilson, and a flag is on the play. Holding offense. And they're going to repeat first down. Yeah, just way too many penalties on the Bulldogs side of the ball. They really would like to tighten that up. Just really shooting themselves in the foot and really making it a whole lot harder for them to get any sort of rhythm going. Because even if your plays are working, it's hard to get a rhythm when you're constantly moving backwards. So now it's 1st and 16. Ball on their own 34-yard line. And another false start. And it's just a mental thing. I understand you're on the road. This is a big rivalry game. You're just so eager to get out there and make a play and to make a block, to catch a pass. But you have to make sure you're doing it in a disciplined manner, because you're only hurting your team when you keep false starting. And a nice pitch out, and he has a little daylight, and that's Levy Wilson, and he almost got all those yards back. Ball on the 45-yard line. And it's 2nd and 7. So after the two penalties, they're within striking distance for a first down. Short gain. Looks like it's going to be 3rd and 6 on the 45-yard line. 3rd and 4. 3rd and 4 on the 46-yard line. 15 seconds left on the play clock. And he pitches it to Wilson now, and he's gone. He's gone. Nobody's going to catch him. And that's going to be another touchdown for College of San Mateo. And they have come all the way back. Quincy Nelson just made a move, saw the open daylight, and nobody was going to catch him. Not with all those blockers out there he had, and that's going to be it. And right now, San Mateo's about to take the lead. They're about to take the lead in a game in which they had turnovers when they threw a pick six, and had turnovers, had penalties, in almost every drive. A missed field goal. And there you have it. And this crowd is stunned right now. This crowd here in Hayward, California is stunned. I'm looking at the body language of the sideline. And They don't know what happened. I mean, you come in the first quarter, you look at the first quarter and you see how the defense is playing. You see how the offense is moving the ball. You see how Chabot pretty much lived in Bulldog territory. They pretty much built a house in Bulldog territory. And now, their lead has vanished. At one point, it was a question of whether the Gladiators are going to be up by 3 touchdowns. Now they're down by 1. And so the Bulldogs, even with all their problems with penalties and shooting themselves in the foot, they've managed to stick together and stick together long enough for something good to happen. And this is that big play capability I keep bringing up. Is, you cannot sleep on the Bulldogs because San Mateo out of nowhere will put up a 60, 70-yard pass or run. And the kick to the 5-yard line. Taken with a full head of steam. And taken down at the 25 is Blair Broussard. And Blair Broussard had a fumble last week. So good to see him hold on to the ball. He's a freshman from Arcadiana, Louisiana. So welcome to the Bay Area, Blair Broussard. Hope you like it. 1st and 10, ball on 26, on the 26-yard line. Gladiators trailing. There we go, and a nice little delay play, and Asante McCray charges ahead for a couple. Six minutes left to go in the half. Eckert in the shotgun with Asante McCray in the backfield. 3 wide receivers to his left. And Asante McCray going back to work. And just got stopped. Stopped dead in his tracks by Tavita Latamua, linebacker from Mills High School. Sophomore. Third and 2, big third down conversion right here. Yeah. And it's a quarterback keep. And Brandon Eckert just gets so low. Just gets so low and just charges ahead. First down. The Gladiators would love to really keep the ball on the ground, take some time off of this clock, just matriculate the ball down the field, and score with a little time left to take the lead going into the half. There we go. Asante McCray staying on his feet, looking for a hole, charges ahead for it looks like to be about 6. And a fumble. And a botch snap, and the Gladiators just fumbling the ball all over the place right now. And the College of San Mateo completely takes back all the momentum now with a recovered fumble. And on the positive side of it, now it is the Bulldogs who has the opportunity to run that run game that they love to do so much and take some time off the clock. And if they can put it in the end zone, they could be coming into the half with not only a lead, but getting the ball back in the third quarter. These games just ridiculous. And he double clutched, and John Willis thought he had a man, double clutched, and I think he did the smart thing there, is throwing it away. If it's not there, don't risk it. Second and 10 on the Gladiators' 44-yard line. Plenty of time on the play clock. 15 seconds. And the crowd chanting defense, trying to will their gladiators to make a stop. George Nafahu on the carry. 3rd and 5. Here we go. And George Nafahu again breaks a tackle and keeps going. Picks up the first down. George Nafahu is just really making a name for himself right now. He is just a hard-nosed back. Nothing cute, nothing fancy, not dancing. Just basically give me the rock, and I'm gonna go forward. If you're in my way, I feel bad for you. It's a real atypical power running game, which you see, and it's fun to watch. Well, the Bulldogs find themselves with a 1-point lead with 3 minutes and 58 seconds left to go in the half after trailing the entire game. And they find themselves on the 29-yard line, on the Gladiator line, on the Gladiator 29 with a first down and threatening to go up by 2 scores. Nelson in motion, looking for the pass, and he throws it up, looking for a man, and just a little bit too much mustard, overthrew him just a little bit. Damian Ross thought he had a beat on his defender, but just a little too strong, a little bit too much mustard on that pass. Ali Yassir was the defender. And just a misdirection to Quincy Nelson. And as he was going down, he looked like he tried to hold on to Chris Cummings, his offensive lineman, to try to keep him up. 3rd and 6. Back to pass. Here we go. And there, George Nwafu with the reception. Three minutes left to go in the half. Ball on the 17-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. Real interested to see here if the Bulldogs stick with the run, the power run game, or if they try to catch Chabot napping, maybe going to one of their wideouts. Try to go quick strike. And I think Chabot was expecting that run play up the middle because it didn't fool anyone. That play ended as soon as it started, and it's 2nd and 10. Approaching 2.5 minutes left to go in the half. Bulldogs will lead by 1. makes a move. He loses one man. And there's a flag on the play. No touchdown called. That's Robert Johnson. It's Robert Johnson with what athleticism to stay on your feet. And that's going to come back, guys. It's a holding on the Bulldogs. One step forward, 2 steps back. Well, we've talked about at length the problems that Bulldogs have had with the penalties, but thus far it hasn't taken them out of the game. I mean, they are leading, but most of their drives have had some sort of penalty. Second and 8. And then toss to Quincy Nelson. And what a huge play. What a huge play to make sure that he wasn't able to turn that corner. Jordan Ferguson on the tackle. That was a big time for that. That puts him at 30 and 8 with 1 minute and 40 seconds left to go in the half. And it really kind of puts a little bit of pressure on the offense. Makes them have to go make a play and worry about getting the first down. And he's back to pass. And he has a man over the middle. And he makes a man move. He makes a miss. And Quincy Nelson goes into the end zone for another Bulldog touchdown. And that is a big one. And Wilson just had a man come right across the middle, Quincy Nelson, and he receives it, and he makes one move, and he's home free. So with the PAT ensuing, not only do the Bulldogs lead, but they lead by 2 scores. They lead by 8. And they get the ball at the half. So the Gladiators really need to take some time to really take this half and really take a look in there, take a deep, long look in the mirror and figure out what has happened in the first quarter, since the first quarter. Why can't you stop them? Why can't you move the ball? And why can't you get it in the end zone? So this is going to be some things that Coach Danny Calcagno will like to address to his teammates or not his teammates, but his team, because all the momentum has been sucked out of this team and out of the fans. Mateo with the kick. And it's taken at the 6-yard line. And there's a big move, a big return. Brought all the way back to the 40-yard line by Avery Williams. And with 1:15 left on the clock, that's a good part of the field to be in, and that's kind of what you need. Before the end of the half. And I don't think the Gladiators can just sit on their hands here with 1:15. I think that they have to try to make something happen. Because you don't want to give the Bulldogs the opportunity to go by 2 scores. And Edgar with the pass that I believe that's Casey Jennings. No, that's Robert Guy. With the pass of Robert Guy for the first time. But there's a flag, and it looks like it's coming back. Offensive pass interference. Robert Guy called for offensive pass interference, trying to create a little bit of separation. And guess that's why why he's so open. Not what you want after a great return by Avery Williams. It's to come back and immediately start moving backwards. And after taking time off the clock. So it's 1:09. Ball on your own 31. First and 25. Man in motion. And Eggert hands off the ball. And Hunter Rockwell looks like he has nowhere to go. And the clock is still moving. I think Chabot is just going to play it conservative, go into the half, and try to go ahead and figure. 20 seconds left to go in the half. So for more coverage and picks, you can visit thespectator.com and click sports. Aside from this broadcast, for more entertainment and music, tune into KCRH 89.9 FM, the Bay, East Bay's best variety. Or visit them at kcrhradio.com. If you'd like to check out this game online or help pledge to our programming or questions or have any questions, you could be a sponsor. You could be, or visit ChabotTV.com. This is Rashawn Mungo, and this is the half, and at the half, the Bulldogs have come all the way back after being down 13-0 to lead 21-13. So stay tuned for our halftime show. We will be back with the kickoff of the third quarter.